Mistakes in the entire Danganronpa series. Junko is not present during any trial. But who cares? She's the mastermind. But why was Tsumugi present? She's a mastermind too, right? It doesn't make any sense. Why can one mastermind abstain from every trial and is the other forced? It has never been explained on how the cafeteria is being filled with food every day. Almost everyone in the outside world is dead. Kyoko performed an autopsy on every victim except Hifumi, who arguably is the most important one to perform an autopsy on because he's not dead. Taka is the first dead body we discover in the 3rd chapter, and he is killed by Hifumi. So why is Hifumi not considered the blackened in chapter 3? I mean, they established in V3 that if there are 2 killers, only the first victim will be considered the kill. It is never explained why Junko and Mukuro have different last names despite being twin sisters. So in chapter 5, they couldn't figure out whether the body belonged to Mukuro or to Kyoko. But they literally saw Kyoko alive. Plus, if you go inside the morgue, you'll realize a body is missing. And it doesn't take much attempts to figure out Mukuro's missing. So, why the fuck was there a whole ass trial about this? They never explained who the father is. There's no explanation on how Junko survives multiple stages of her execution. Then Junko gets crushed and her body parts are being harvested by other students and replaced with their own. But she's crushed! It also isn't possible to take Mukuro's body because his body is blown up. To this day, I never understand why multiple people, like a serial killer who killed multiple people, is accepted in Host Peak, a Yakuza member, and a fucking death row convict. If we forget Hibiko, Kiyotaka is the only character who actually had development after the death of a student, and then he fucking died. Celestia losing her composure as the ultimate gambler so quickly after getting accused once.
That was bullshit!
Somebody gets brutally murdered and the next day your classmates are looking at you like this. The fact that we needed to prove that Kyoko was still alive to Yasuhiro, despite her standing right there. Both Soda and Toko surviving a point-blank explosion. Yasuhiro's burger backstory. Something that also bothered me is the fact that nobody tried to restrain Genocide Jackoff, who's a literal serial killer after chapter 2. So, what exactly was Nagito's plan after cutting off all the light and then getting the knife? Was he just going to, stab blindly like a fucking idiot? Till this day, I never understand the point of Mikan filming her own crime and incriminating herself. She also gained super speed by going back to the music venue, back to the students, back to the music venue again, and back to the students all in 3 minutes. I know Gundam set the clock off to confuse the other students, but why set an alarm? It has no other purpose than incriminating himself. In 2.4, it's explained that if you unwillingly set up somebody else's murder trap, resulting in the death of another student, it doesn't count as your kill. Then why did they throw this logic out of the window literally the next chapter with Chiaki? She fell into Nagito's trap, killed Nagito, and is executed for it. So, the Future Foundation is surprised about finding out that Hajimemes is Izuru. But they knew Hajimemes was Izuru, and that's the reason why they put him into the New World program. So, why are they exactly surprised? Nagito literally states that he has less than a year to live, yet survives everything, and is still alive. How? Is it plot armor? Is this luck? Like, it is never explained. Quoting this from Reddit, but how did Komaro's heavy robotic ass in and break the chain like 5 minutes after the elevator descended? So Kaede claims that she got into the killing game against her will by being kidnapped. And then later in Chapter 6, they literally say that all the students wanted to participate in the game. So it's still not clear whether they were forced or not into the killing game. The names of the participants are censored in the audition tapes. But in the first chapter, they aren't. So, what was the point? Tsumugi claims in Trial 6 that nobody really has a talent because it's all fiction. But we have Miu who literally pulls out an invention out of her ass after 3 seconds that Rentaro died. How does nobody fall off the stage? If Cosmark is a real thing, then how does Tsumugi say in the 6th trial that everyone is fiction? How? Okay, hear me out. How does Kokichi know the combination of Rentaro's fault? The only explanation is that Kokichi actually saw Rentaro's Survivor perk video, but that would also mean that he knows his talent. So Kokichi knew all this and decided not to say anything? Honestly, I'm not surprised. This is totally a Kokichi thing to do. So because Korekyo didn't draw the circle accurately, he got caught. He could have literally just drawn it accurately anyway and just took a few steps forward. How did Kaede stack those books so perfectly? The ladder doesn't even reach that high. How does Monokuma have space for all these fucking executions? Korekyo's incest plot. How did Kaito manage to grab another jacket? The entire point of him taking off the jacket was to make sure that nobody knows that either Kaito or Kokichi was the victim. Kokichi pulled his plan out of his asshole in 5 seconds, so it doesn't make sense that he had the spare jacket of Kaito near him. Yes, I know that Kaito could have ran back to his room to grab another jacket, but the kicker is that he would have been caught by the cameras. And I know Kokichi is a hoarder and grabs random shit from different cases into his room, but it doesn't make sense that he had the spare jacket of Kaito near him. In the demo version of V3, you had to play a minigame to find out if Yasuhiro is really the victim. But his body is right there. How does Kaito's jacket not fall off? It makes no sense why Kaito went back to his room instead of locking back in when he was forced to log out. He could have seen Miu dying and do something about it. But no, his ass hurts. There was absolutely no reason for Haichi to have that one line. Like I said, Jack, it's a clue, and I love mine. There's a difference in the localization CGs of Kaito dying. The left one is the Western localization, while the right one is the Japanese one. But why did they change the CG in the Western localization? Is it even more obvious that Kaito's underneath the press? The fact that Monokuma is dancing because so many dumb-ass kids are dying because they still choose to not stick together. Like every single person that got killed was alone. Why don't you stick together? Are you this fucking stupid? Oh my god! They brought up Kaede's twin sister in chapter 5 and then never ever again. Like, what was the point of that plot twist if you're never gonna bring it up again? The fact that none of the students recognized the Monocups and Rentaro despite being fucking losers. I mean, despite being Danganronpa fans. Also, a lot of sprite errors, link in the description because I didn't find them myself. Kaede's hair is fucking inconsistent. The lines on Bakayuko's jacket are suddenly gone. Kaede is the only one who doesn't have her concept art copy-pasted in the scene. Shuichi is suddenly taller than Kaede despite being officially 1 chin shorter. Here, Shuichi is suddenly taller than Kaito. Kokichi fucking grew for some reason. Suddenly, Kokichi is taller than Tsumugi. Gonta's head is fucking small. Angie is suddenly white. Again, Shuichi is taller than Tsumugi. Also, what happened to Korekyo's right arm? Kokichi is taller once again. There are also many instances of Kokichi's scarf not even being correctly drawn. Like it's just copy pasted. And in this image, his scarf is literally missing. Kaito looking like a twink and not a buff man. The top of Gonta's bug case is clear and transparent in his sprites, but not in his concept art. Kaito doesn't have a goatee in these CG. Korekyo's mask zipper is missing. Kaito's scrum debate sprites are literally a copy-based flip. Look at his sleeveless arm in both sprites. This is apparently fixed in the official art book. The weird symbol logo on Kibo's throat thingy, I don't know. Maki's hair color being inconsistent. The hairbands on Tenko's hair loops being inconsistently colored. Kaede's former school logo sprite being black and white. I will not cover all of them, you get the idea. Anyway, Danganronpa sucks ass.